Welcome to Turnbull Custom Guns YouTube channel. Today we have a 7600 that we need to remove the barrel, and in order to do that we need to take this pump action tube off, which sometimes can be removed with a punch, but in this case it's on way too tight and I don't want to damage it, so we're gonna go ahead and make a disassembly tool for this so that we won't damage that tube. Okay, so we have a block of 1.5 inch by 1 inch aluminum, and we're gonna go ahead and make a 3/4 inch cut into the face of it, about half the distance of the reamer. I'll probably mill this out. I know I write drill on here, but we'll mill that out so that will fit around the tube that we're trying to remove, and then we'll thin it out a bit and we'll put a pin through the center that is I think it's 1/4 inch to be able to go through the pump tube and support it, and that should give supports on both sides of the tube so that it doesn't crush it when we try to turn it off. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting this piece of aluminum down, and length doesn't really matter, although I'm going to stick it out a little further. Well, the only 3/4 inch end mill that I have has pretty rough life, but let's see if we can't still get it to do some cutting. Just gonna start by squaring off this end that I hacked off. We'll try just doing some light side-to-side cuts. Alright, so now we have a square end to start with. We'll go ahead and find the center, and we'll make our 3/4 inch cut plunge into the aluminum block. Okay, now that I position the camera that you can actually see something, we're going to cut this in 375 thousandths of an inch. And I'm going to lock my bed, not that way, lock it this way, so that we don't get any movement from the milling bit pull. Alright, so I lied. We're either going to slow it down or do a plunge cut. Which plunge cut probably would be best. We'll see if our cutter will make it. There we go. Now we're going to lock the bed in both directions. All right, that worked much better. Guess there's at least one good tooth left on that thing. Now we're going to slide it out and we're going to contour this a little bit so that we can get it'll fit around our actuating rods from the pump. So because I don't want to move my vise, I have it all zeroed in right now. I'm gonna flip this on end and I'll use a basically a bevel indicator to set my 45-degree angle that I want to cut on the head of the tool. Alright, now we're gonna flip this over. Alright, and we're gonna do a similar thing, but I think I'll leave a little more meat on here for the pin we're gonna put down through it. Alright, so now we're going to determine where we need to put that pin so it ends up in the right spot. Okay, so how I'm going to determine to drill this hole, or where I'm going to drill the hole, I've got some Dykem. I like the Dykem. And I have the 3/4 inch milling bit here in my vise, and we're going to use one of these center finders. They're super handy. If you don't have one, I recommend picking one up. Now I'm looking for my scratch. Alright, so we're going to use the center finder, and we're going to set it on here, and we're going to mark where we want that to be drilled out to. Then we're going to go back over to our milling machine. Alright, so we're not going to be able to use the center drill. This is my chuck will hit the angle, but this still isn't a hugely critical point, so we're going to chuck it up in the drill. And line her up. If this was on a firearm or anything like that, I always would use a center drill, but it's not. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is we'll use that same hole. We'll put either this drill or center punch, not a center punch, a punch through there so it catches both sides of that tube, and then we'll use that to turn it off. Now we might have to take a little bit more off here, but we're going to give it a try to start. All right, so a lot of these you can take off with, you know, a regular punch of the right size, but every so often you get a stubborn one. So here's our tool, and there's our hole we drilled that matches this contour. Sorry, trying to look at the camera. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this through that, both sides of that tube, and hopefully this surface will keep us from bending the tube. I said hopefully. Wish I had a drum roll. Maybe I should look. There we go. Now you want to make sure you're not pushed down too far, because then you'll catch the barrel. But you want to make sure you are through the other side. Let me get a close up. So you can see right here, this is the drill bit going through the other side of that tube, but not so much. There, I can move it, that it's gonna hit the barrel. There. All right, let's give it a try. Now I did try without this tool before and it would not budge, so oh boy. She's on there pretty good. There we go. There. And now that it's loosened up, should be able to just turn it.